How y'all doing? Today we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to pull a little maintenance on the middle buster, and we're going to plant some more onion seeds. We're going to do it a little bit different than we did in the first video. Tom from New Jersey sent in a great suggestion. He tells me he starts his onion seeds in large containers. And when the bulbs get large enough, he'll transplant them from the containers into the garden. And that saves on some garden space. Now, after thinking about Tom's suggestion, I remembered I've got the ideal container to try this in. It's an aluminum trough-like. It's about 8 inches deep, about 1 foot wide, and about 6 foot long. Room for plenty seeds. Let's get started on the middle buster first, then we'll plant some onion seed. The other day I went help someone break up a little spot, and either he didn't know or forgot to tell me, but about 6 inches below the surface, there was some little surprises. In fact, one time I actually came up with a piston stuck on the point of the middle buster. Well, I didn't know it at the time, but it cracked the furrow, or the point. And I ended up losing it somewhere in my garden. Now, this would work great if all I wanted to do was push dirt on one side. Now, the first thing we have to do is remove the 2 bolts that hold it on there. That one was a little stubborn. Let's take a little break and go get some compost to fill up our planter. Now, because there's sticks and clogs of dirt in the compost pile, we're going to go ahead and sift it using this hardware cloth, which is 1/2 inch mesh wire. Now, because our container isn't the sturdiest, I'm only going to fill it to about halfway. Here's our planter, all filled with compost. All right, let's plant some seeds. Well, I doubt if all of them will come up, but if they do, there's 1,000 seeds in that trough. I'm just going to cover them with a thin layer of compost. Trying to get this stuff as even as I can. Tom, I think this may work. But remember, if it doesn't, it's your fault. Just kidding. That should do it. Now this is pure compost. So it's not going to hold water very well. So I'm going to have to check this, I'd say about every day, maybe every 2 days, and make sure it's still moist. Well, the onion seeds are planted. Now I'm going to wait a week or two and see what happens. Why don't we finish up with that middle buster project? Now the one I just took off was a 15-inch furrow. This one is a 12. It's a little bit smaller. Let's hang it on by a thread. But we got it. See if we can tighten him up. And I think we got him. I guess we're going to find out the first time we put it in the dirt. Before we shut this thing off, I'd like to answer an email. This fella emailed and asked, he said, in video number 2, you planted using a weed wizard. And in video number 3, you dug a furrow and planted in the furrow. And he asked, he says, which is the right way? And my response to him was, there's more than one way of doing things. Just because I do it a certain way doesn't mean that's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Whatever you feel the most comfortable with, whatever works, that's the right way for you. Well, hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you again soon.